Jeff's car's not to his liking. Get the most out of it and work on at the next stop.
How about the Busch brothers as they go after each other for third positions? Kurt's got it. Kyle would certainly like to take it away from him. Vince, give us an update.
With Kurt Busch, this is the car that he drove to victory earlier this season in Atlanta. And while a lot of teams are going with new cars, they've actually gone back to some older things that have worked for Kurt in the past, kind of hoping that maybe if they take one step back, they can end up taking 2 steps forward, because some of the new stuff they were trying just wasn't working. A moment ago, Kurt came on the radio and he said, "I don't know what to tell you. The changes we make that help us in practice don't seem to have much effect on us here in the race." Doc?
And for Kyle Busch behind him, the last time he drove this car, he led 217 laps, only to have the car get tight late at Charlotte, and Jamie McMurray won the race. Kyle was very poor in happy hour yesterday, 32nd on the speed charts. They knew they would be better. They made adjustments based on what their teammate Denny Hamlin had done late in happy hour, and obviously it's helped the car quite a bit. Now Kyle moving his way toward the front.
Doc, Kyle hasn't had a great weekend. Remember, he finished second in the truck race, and you know, anything worse than first is terrible for him, but it was worse yesterday. He finished 16th in the nationwide race. Jimmy Johnson trying to get closer. He is in 6th spot right now, but the man up front is Denny Hamlin. You know, Joe Gibbs Racing only has 1 win here in Cup action back in '99. Tony Stewart.
Here is our Dodge race rundown. Denny Hamlin has been impressive through the first half of today's race.
Oh, he has. He's qualified not too good when he started and drove this thing all the way up to the front. I mean, with no assistance really from anybody. Just a great handling race car. He's leading this thing right now and continuously lap after lap, just laying out really fast lap times.
Hamlin has led the most laps so far. Jimmy Johnson's been no slouch either.
No, Jimmy's done a great job. You see this little incident early in the race. Greg Biffle getting into David Rudiman. Jimmy almost runs over him, gets up on the wheel, slows down, comes into the pits. He's done a great job all day. His pit crew's been pretty solid. So Jimmy's had a good run, and he's marching towards the top of the leaderboard.
The new 48 pit crew. Very solid today. Kevin Harvick has had his moments, good and bad today.
Yeah, good and bad. We said the good part, driving up from 29th, currently into 8th position. He's got his handling, fought a little bit of a loose problem, touched the wall a little bit right there. Little action on pit road. We said he wasn't going to be afraid to use the bumper. He's using it right there. Little touch with A.J. Allmendinger, let him know he was unhappy. A.J. let him know he was unhappy on the inside. Shot on the inside, made it 3 wide, caused Kevin and the 16 to bump. Got no damage, still going forward.
A little pinball action there. And we watch Jimmy Johnson continue to move forward through the field. He is working on Kurt Busch for 4th position here as Johnson continues to pick his way forward. We've had 3 cautions for 14 laps. 4 different drivers have led today. Carl Edwards, Kurt Busch, Bobby Labonte, a couple under caution, and Denny Hamlin has led the most laps. Remember, in this race a year ago, Jimmy Johnson went out front and led 238 of 312 for a maximum points day on the way to the championship. Hamlin trying to take a page out of that playbook today, but Johnson trying to work his way forward, and still plenty of time to get up there and lead some laps for bonus points.
There is a lot of time left for Jimmy Johnson. I'm very, very impressed how his car is handling right now. This is a team that's won 4 championships in a row. They know how to do it, and I said earlier, I really want to see how Jimmy's going to run this race. He can't protect his points. He's just got to drive hard. And like I said earlier, those lap times are great. And now he's just got Pat Kurt Busch. He's moved into 4th position right now. And this car is fast, guys. Brad, I'm really impressed with what I'm seeing out of him.
1 pit stop away for Jimmy Johnson from ending up on Denny Hamlin's bumper. I tell you what, this car is super fast. Kevin Harvick's done a great job as well. After we see our next pit stops, these guys are going to be bunched up, and they're going to go racing.
And guys, we're getting close to halfway, and you know, Rusty, this track changes. The rubber gets down, the shadow starts to change. It's hard when you got a car as good as the 11 is to keep changing it. These other guys are going to adjust. They've got nothing to lose, everything to gain.
Well, speaking of the 11 car and change, Rusty, I want to show you some numbers from the first races this year on some of the flatter tracks on the circuit. Leave Martinsville aside. Richmond, New Hampshire, here at Phoenix. Look at the results for the 11 team from the first round this year. Now look at the second round this year. Mike Ford said it was a point of emphasis.
Yeah, Mike Ford on Monday night on our NASCAR Now show, we had him on and he said, look, we were just terrible the first half of the year, but we went to work. We made some major changes on the short tracks, and it has really helped this car a lot. He did win Martinsville. He's ran great up in New Hampshire. He's been flat flying on these flat racetracks. And that guy right there on the left, Mike Ford, is a big part of this. He realized they had a problem, and they went to work on it quick.
Hey, somebody else you better keep an eye on today. Ryan Newman. Remember, he won the race here in April. He only led the last 4 laps of the race. He's hanging around.
Yeah, Ryan has done an outstanding job. Perfect racetrack for Ryan Newman. You got to be real aggressive to advance your race car. We know he likes to put that car in tough positions. He's hard to race around. Another guy is the guy running in 10th position is Martin Truex Jr. He has been in the mix all day long. A good, solid run for that Michael Waltrip Racing engine.
Yes, Kevin Harvick.
And again, I was going to say, it's great for all those guys, both of the Stewart-Haas cars up there, but look right there. There's Happy Harvick working that car. Those cars, the Childress cars, always turn the center of the corner good here. Works good on the bottom. He and Gil Martin worked on drive-off. Looks like they've got it. That thing's going to continue to move forward.
Yep.
I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, it's just taking off. We've been talking. I think we're too low on rear air.
It's just taken off is good.
Well, the track's coming too, and as we said, it changes. And as those shadows get down, the sun moves fast here, and those grandstands create shadows, changes the grip on the racetrack.
Well, that last time by, he was exactly the same speed as the leader at 29.21. So Harvick has got a car as fast as the leader right now. Vince, you got more?
Yeah, you know, early in the run, he was struggling with it. Then you heard them reference that the air pressures were coming up. The car has definitely come to life in the second half of this run. They like the long runs anyway. They think they need to go back on a track bar adjustment made on the previous stop. But right now, Kevin Harvick is as happy with his car as he's been all day.
Leaders last on pit road just over 40 laps ago as we work close to the midway point of today's race here in Phoenix. It's the Kobalt Tools 500. All of the 3 championship drivers running in the top 7 positions at this point. Nobody running as well as Denny Hamlin, though. He's led the most laps so far today, and he's running first.
Hi, I'm Seth Rowe. You ever watch NASCAR and wish that instead of a track, the cars were on city streets and had giant machine guns mounted on them? Well, NASCAR obviously can't do that. But you can see it January 14th when the Green Hornet hits theaters in 3 weeks.
And Seth, that's maybe what those guys need to shoot down Denny Hamlin, because right now he's on a rail, 1.6 seconds ahead of Carl Edwards. He's gone over the 1,000-lap lead mark this season, only the 2nd time in his career. He's led a total of 84 so far. So he's looking to rack up maximum points day here if he can do it. Getting into a little bit of traffic now.
Yeah, watching lap times, he's getting caught just a little bit. Jimmy Johnson actually had the fastest lap last lap.
Points as of now as they run. They're running 1st, 4th, and 6th. And he would lengthen the lead to 68 if he can hold on. But again, a long way to go in this one. Going around Robbie Gordon right now. Robbie, the last car on the lead lap. Now he'll be in 31st position, 1 lap down. Next victim will be Marcus Ambrose. Look out. Paul Menard gets a little tail happy, and that allows Ambrose to tuck in underneath.
Yeah, Denny would prefer to see all of these guys just kind of drive it straight right in front of him until he gets by. And the good thing, and you're talking about, he's lost a little bit of his lead here, but he knows that Jimmy Johnson and the rest will have to negotiate their way through there too.
Do you notice Denny giving that 2 ahead of him a little bit of room? I mean, Menard came close to hitting the wall the last time around, and now he's trying to close in on him. And Ambrose does finally clear the 98.
Well, none of these guys want to go a lap down, so they're going to run as hard as they possibly can. And with Ambrose, he's just trying to put as many spots between him and Denny as he can. And by passing Paul, he gets him maybe another lap without going down a lap, or maybe a half a lap.
Yeah, maybe a corner.
Yeah. His Denny's car is just so good, though. He can just pick and choose. He's got such drive off. Car's turning in the center and just doing everything it looks like he wants to, Doc.
Well, it is, DJ. Remember how I told you a tiny tweak at the end of happy hour yesterday really helped this car take off? And you guys wisely said that what that means is a tiny tweak in the race could hurt the car. And that's what's happened in the last 10 or 15 laps. Then he says they made a minor track bar adjustment. And now he said the car is tighter than it's been in the center and starting to get loose up off the corner. So Mike Ford, being the good crew, he said we're just going to go back to where it was before on our next pit stop in about 14 laps. Getting back where it was. He's good now, but he was even better before this change.
Well, while you were talking, Doc, a chunk of rubber got kicked up right in front of Denny and bounced off the car. Luckily, it looks like it did no harm.
You see a lot of that here at this track, and it's just, you know, the tires they run here are fairly soft, so they make, you know, these big marbles, they kind of clump together, and you'll see that from time to time. No real problem, though.
And already you're beginning to see the sun. It will become a much bigger factor as this race goes on, going down into turn number 1. We saw it yesterday in the nationwide racing. Guys literally talking on the radio, I can't see. Right now, the only thing the field could see is Denny Hamlin. He is running away from this field. He's 2 seconds ahead of Carl Edwards, and pit stops are coming up. Will they be under green flags here at the Kobalt Tools 500 at Phoenix? Stay with us to find out.